Buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of Diablo.
Oh, yeah. And when we say deep, we mean deep.
Our listeners have sent in some seriously juicy lore excerpts about early Sanctuary.
Trust us, it gets wild.
We're not just talking demons and dungeons here. We're going all the way back to the very beginning.
Like before Sanctuary even existed.
Before humans, even.
This is about cosmic origins, rebellions. Oh, and did we mention the first humans were created with a twist you won't believe?
It's a story that's way bigger than just heaven and hell.
It's about the forces that shape reality itself.
So where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, it all starts with a war.
You're talking about the war between the high heavens and the burning hells, right?
Exactly.
Angels versus demons, the classic battle of good and evil.
Yeah, but hold on a second. It's not as simple as that.
Oh, I bet. This is Diablo we're talking about. Nothing is ever simple.
This isn't just your typical good versus evil story. This conflict, it had been raging for eons, and both sides, the angels and the demons, were kind of stuck in this endless loop.
You're saying they were, what, fighting the same battles for eternity?
Exactly. Immortals, unchanging, fighting the same battles over and over again.
I could see how that would get old after a while.
Tell me about it. It's no wonder that an angel and a demon would start to, find some common ground.
Wait, hold up. An angel and a demon getting along. You're kidding, right?
Nope, I'm serious. Inarius, an angel, and Lilith, a demon, they both started to see how pointless this endless war was.
That's wild. I mean, talk about finding common ground in the most unlikely of places. What were their names again?
Inarius and Lilith.
Right, Inarius and Lilith. So they team up an angel and a demon. What exactly were they hoping to accomplish together? I mean, what could they possibly agree on?
They both wanted to escape the endless cycle of conflict, to create something new, something better than the eternal battleground that was their existence.
So they decided to create a haven, a place hidden from both heaven and hell.
Exactly. A place where they could exist in peace, free from the constraints of their respective sides.
And that place, that became Sanctuary.
Bingo. But creating a whole new world isn't as easy as it sounds.
Oh, I can imagine. It's not like they could just snap their fingers and poof, Sanctuary appears.
They needed something powerful, something extraordinary.
Let me guess. They needed the World Stone.
You got it. The World Stone, this ancient artifact, the source of creation itself. With it, they could not only hide Sanctuary from both heaven and hell, but also create life.
Hang on, are you saying they used the World Stone to create humans?
They did indeed. But these weren't your average humans. They were something different, something more.
Okay, now you have to tell me more about this. What were these not-so-average humans?
They called them the Nephilim.
The Nephilim.
Born from the combined essence of angel and demon. Imagine that power. The first humans were incredibly powerful beings.
Wow, talk about powerful parentage.
Yeah.
No wonder Sanctuary became such a focal point in the war between heaven and hell.
It was like a beacon to both sides.
A beacon of what?
Pure, untamed potential.
But with that much power, it couldn't have been all sunshine and rainbows. Did Inarius and Lilith see eye to eye on how to handle their creation?
That's where things get really interesting and messy. Let's just say that Inarius, the angel, and Lilith, the demon, had very different ideas about what to do with the incredible power they had unleashed in the Nephilim.
So we've got this hidden world, Sanctuary, jam-packed with untapped power in the form of the Nephilim. And to make things even more interesting, we've got their creators, Inarius and Lilith, who have, shall we say, differing opinions on how to manage their creation. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, just a little cosmic drama, a dash of demonic manipulation, and a whole lot of conflict. It's Sanctuary, after all. What did you expect?
Well, when you put it that way. But let's back up a bit. You mentioned Lilith getting imprisoned for her, let's just say, unconventional ideas about the Nephilim. But even locked away, she still managed to stir up trouble, right?
Lilith was nothing if not persistent. Even imprisoned, her influence whispered through Sanctuary. But the real trouble began when heaven and hell started sniffing around their little passion project.
Okay, hold on. Heaven and hell find out about Sanctuary. How? I thought they made this whole thing super secret with the World Stone.
They did their best to hide it, but you can't just create a whole new world and expect the powers that be to just not notice. Think about it. The World Stone, the source of creation itself, suddenly goes missing. That's going to raise some eyebrows.
Right, you've got a point there. So both sides realize something is up. What do they do about it?
Well, Diablo and his brothers, the Primevals, saw an opportunity. A chance to stick it to heaven, use Sanctuary as a weapon against their eternal enemies.
I knew those guys were never going to play nice. But how do you even begin to manipulate an entire world, especially one populated by beings as powerful and unpredictable as the Nephilim?
With a little something called the Triune.
The Triune. That rings a bell, but refresh my memory. Who were they again?
On the surface, the Triune seemed like any other religion, preaching peace and unity, offering hope and solace. But underneath it all, they were a front for the primevals, whispering doubts about heaven, twisting faith into a weapon against the angels.
Wow. Talk about playing the long game. So while Inarius is trying to keep the Nephilim's powers in check, the primevals are whispering in their ear, turning them against their own creators. That's just messed up.
Welcome to Sanctuary, my friend, where the lines between good and evil are about as clear as mud. And just to make things even more interesting, Inarius wasn't about to just sit back and let the demons have their fun.
Oh, I bet. Knowing Inarius, he probably had something up his sleeve.
You know him too well. To counter the Triune's influence, Inarius established the Cathedral of Light.
Okay, the Cathedral of Light. They were the good guys, right? Or they seemed like the good guys at first glance.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Nothing in Sanctuary is ever that simple. Inarius, remember, feared the Nephilim's power. The cathedral was as much about control as it was about righteousness, a way to combat demonic influence while also keeping humanity on a short leash.
So it's basically a cosmic chess match. You've got heaven and hell, using humans as pawns in their little game, and caught in the middle are the Nephilim, trying to figure out who to trust and what to believe.
Exactly. And if you think that's complicated, just wait, because things are about to get a whole lot more interesting. Remember Lilith?
How could I forget? The Queen of Chaos herself, locked away but never truly gone.
Well, let's just say her imprisonment didn't exactly hold her forever. She eventually finds her way back to Sanctuary, and she has a bone to pick with both heaven and hell.
I bet she does. And I have a feeling she's not going to let a little thing like imprisonment stop her from wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
This is Lilith we're talking about. Chaos is kind of her thing.
You got that right. And with her return, things in Sanctuary are about to get a whole lot more unpredictable.
Last time, we left off with Lilith making her grand return to Sanctuary. You know, that can't be good.
No, not good at all. Especially with everything else going on.
It's like adding gasoline to a bonfire, isn't it?
Right.
You've got the Triune, the Cathedral of Light, the Nephilim caught in the middle, and now Lilith is back to stir the pot. What's her game plan here? What's she hoping to accomplish?
Lilith, always the cunning one, sees an opportunity in all this chaos. Remember her goal to use the Nephilim against both heaven and hell? Well, she sets her sights on a particularly powerful Nephilim,
Uldyssian, the descendant of Inarius and Lilith themselves. That's right, we talked about him earlier.
Yeah.
With a lineage like that, he's got to be powerful, right?
Oh, Uldyssian is incredibly powerful. He represents the untainted potential of humanity, a wild card in this cosmic game.
Okay, I'm sensing a but coming.
But he's also a bit naive, idealistic. He doesn't want to pick sides in this internal conflict. He just wants to protect his people, live in peace. And Lilith, well, she exploits that.
How so? What does she do?
She amplifies his powers, whispers in his ear, manipulates events to make him a scapegoat, someone to be feared and hunted by those he seeks to protect. She knows that power, especially unchecked power, can be a dangerous thing, and she's counting on it.
Talk about a raw deal. So not only is Uldyssian dealing with these incredible powers he doesn't fully understand, but he's also public enemy number one.
Pretty much. Hunted by both the Triune and the Cathedral of Light. It's a no-win situation. But, and this is what's so compelling about Uldyssian, he doesn't give up. Instead of succumbing to fear and anger, he fights back, protects those he can.
He doesn't face this alone, does he?
You're right, he doesn't. Uldyssian finds kindred spirits, other magic users ostracized and feared for their powers. Together, they form the Idirum.
The Idirum. Tell me more about them. Were they on anyone's side, or were they, like Uldyssian, just trying to survive?
The Idirum were a fascinating bunch. They didn't align themselves with heaven or hell, the Triune or the Cathedral. They were a third way, a group of individuals who embraced their powers, both the light and the shadow, and sought to forge their own path.
That sounds threatening to both heaven and hell. A group of powerful beings who refuse to play by their rules.
Precisely. And that's why Uldyssian and the Idirum posed such a threat to the established order. They represented a future where humanity wasn't a pawn in some cosmic game, but an independent force to be reckoned with.
So what was Inarius' response to this? We're talking about the angel who imprisoned his lover, Lilith, for suggesting humans should have free will.
Inarius, true to form, freaks out. He sends his top lieutenant, Gamuel, to eliminate the Oldysian problem.
And how'd that go for him?
About as well as you'd expect. Gamuel, despite his power, underestimated Oldysian. It's a testament to Oldysian's character that he doesn't go looking for a fight, but when pushed, he defends himself and his people with everything he's got.
So what happens when Plan A, assassination, fails? What's next in Nereus' playbook?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him. Or in this case, team up with your worst enemy.
Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying? Nereus makes a deal with Diablo.
Desperate times, my friend, desperate times. Nereus, blinded by fear and clinging to control, ends up making a pact with the prime evil himself to eliminate the perceived threat of Oldysian.
The irony is almost painful. The Angel of Order, so afraid of his creation's potential that he sides with a demon to destroy it.
Talk about a fall from grace, right?
Yeah.
But hold on to your hats because it gets even wilder. As if things weren't complicated enough in Sanctuary, Heaven decides to make an appearance.
Heaven, like the high heavens with the angels and everything, they finally notice what's been going on.
Apparently, the creation of Sanctuary, the theft of the World Stone, the birth of the Nephilim, it was all a bit too much for them to ignore.
You think?
Yep.
They've been playing absentee parents this whole time, and now they decide to show up.
Well, Tyrael, the Angel of Justice, is less than thrilled about the whole situation. He sees the potential for chaos in Sanctuary, the demonic influence, and he's not about to let it stand.
So does Tyrael just show up with a flaming sword and start laying down the law?
Not so fast. There's one more player in this cosmic drama we need to talk about. Trag'Oul.
Trag'Oul, he's a dragon, right?
He is indeed. An ancient and powerful dragon, shrouded in mystery, who's been watching over Sanctuary from the very beginning. Think of him as a neutral observer, a guardian who sees the potential for both good and evil in this world.
So when Tyrael arrives, ready to rain down celestial fire, Trag'Oul steps in.
He does. He pleads with Tyrael for understanding, for patience. Trag'Oul believes that humanity deserves a chance to forge its own destiny, free from the manipulations of both heaven and hell. He sees the potential for greatness in them, but also the terrible price of unchecked power.
Okay, so the stage is set. We've got heaven, represented by Tyrael, finally paying attention to their wayward creation. We've got hell in the form of Diablo and his minions, whispering in the ears of anyone who will listen. And in the middle of this cosmic tug-of-war, we've got Oldysian and the Adiram, caught between a rock and a hard place. What happens next? Give me the good stuff.
It's an all-out battle royale. Angels clash with demons, Adiram fight for their right to exist, and Oldysian becomes something more. He starts to absorb the very essence of Sanctuary itself, its pain, its hope, all its chaotic energy.
Well, hold on. He absorbs Sanctuary, like
Yeah.
literally.
It's wild, right? His powers surge out of control. He's connected to the World Stone, remember? He becomes a being of pure energy, capable of reshaping reality. But instead of destroying everything and everyone in sight, he does something unexpected.
What does he do?
He stops the fighting, forces a ceasefire.
Wait, he just stops it. That's it.
In that moment, Oldysian sees everything. The endless cycle of conflict, the manipulations of heaven and hell, the fear and hatred poisoning Sanctuary. He understands that no one, not even Nereus, truly understood what it meant to be human, to have free will.
So what does he do with that understanding, with all that power?
He makes a choice, a sacrifice. Oldysian absorbs all the destructive energy unleashed in the conflict, all the pain and suffering to spare Sanctuary from annihilation. He becomes one with the world he helped create, giving up his very being to save it.
That's heavy. So this incredible power, born from both angel and demon, chooses to sacrifice himself to protect a world that both feared and rejected him.
It's a powerful moment. With Trag'Oul's guidance, Oldysian travels to the void, a realm beyond reality, and unleashes the energy he absorbed, ensuring it can never again threaten Sanctuary.
So Sanctuary is safe, for now, but at what cost?
It's a bittersweet victory for sure. Oldysian's sacrifice serves as a reminder of the true cost of conflict, the weight of choice, and the extraordinary potential that lies within humanity for both good and evil.
We started this deep dive with the creation of Sanctuary, born from the desire for peace, but quickly learned that peace comes at a price. Oldysian's story, with all its twists and turns, really makes you think, what would you do if you had that kind of power? Would you be able to shoulder the weight of an entire world?
It's a question worth pondering. The world of Diablo is full of these complex characters, these morally gray areas. There's no easy answers, no clear-cut heroes and villains. It's a world where even the best of intentions can have devastating consequences, and that's what makes it so fascinating, so tragically human.
Well said. This has been quite the journey through the origins of Diablo, from the creation of Sanctuary to the epic battles that rage within its heart. And as we close this chapter of the deep dive, we invite you, our listeners, to consider the choices made, the sacrifices endured, and the enduring legacy of old Dishian, the reluctant hero who gave everything to save a world that couldn't understand him. Until next time.